Texas Chainsaw 3D is the 2013 film from director John Lewis-Hopp, and it stars Alexandra Daddario, Dan Yeager, Trey Songz, and Bill Moseley. Now, this is a movie I know a lot of people hate. A lot of people hate this movie with a passion, and for good reason. This movie is garbage, but there are some redeeming qualities as to why this film has some good moments. I'm not going to give you much of a synopsis for this movie because virtually everybody's seen this movie. I guess to sum it all up quickly, basically a girl inherits a mansion from a family member she doesn't even know she even had, and upon arriving at this mansion to take her inheritance in, she finds out that Leatherface from the original Chainsaw Massacre film from 1974 lives in this house. Now, this film takes place in the present day, so at the time it takes place in obviously 2013. So obviously right there we have some film inconsistencies, and I'll get into that just in a little bit. But so let's start off with the first couple things I like about this movie. The first 5 minutes of this movie were incredible. It was a true sequel to the original. Why the film ventured off into the direction it went in is beyond me. I know that Lionsgate had bought the rights to this film after Platinum Dunes and the Michael Bay Company let go of the rights to this franchise, and so it gave everybody else an opportunity to take it on. What we got was a mixed bag of a lot of emotions for me. I'm a huge Texas Chainsaw fan. I love this franchise. It holds a lot more of a soft spot for me than the Friday series, the Nightmare on Elm Street series, the Halloween series. This series, I get this series, and I enjoy this series a little bit more because it dives into more realism than those said franchises. But like I said, the first 5 minutes of this movie were great. The rest of the movie I can just straight up piss off. I hate the rest of this movie. The other thing I like about this movie, though, that I will go into, is I like Leatherface in this movie. Now, even though his mask is not great, I do not like the mask they chose to put on Leatherface in this movie because it didn't have that iconic quality that the original did. Because the original film looked like a homemade mask, whereas this one looks studio made. It doesn't have anything about it. It looks like somebody threw the face into an oven, dried it up so bad it burst into flames, and now we got the crispy version of it. It just doesn't look that good. But I do like the mannerisms that the actor who portrays Leatherface in this film, played by Dan Yeager, he actually brought some good qualities to this role that I didn't think we were going to get. I had little to no expectation of how this guy was going to portray Leatherface, but he had the limp in his leg from after Gunnar Hansen had cut his leg open in the original. He's got a limp in his leg. That was a great little, smart homage to the original film. The way he interacts is kind of similar to Gunnar Hansen's performance. So there was a lot of thought brought into this movie as far as how Leatherface was going to be portrayed. So I did appreciate that. Leatherface does go into populated areas. We've never seen that in a Texas Chainsaw film. We've never seen Leatherface go up and get, in the midst of a crowd of people. That he ends up at a carnival while he's chasing a girl through town. That was actually kind of cool. It was cool to see Leatherface outside of just the, traditional back roads in the woods type of scenario. He was in public. That was kind of cool. I actually enjoyed that. And I did enjoy the nice little homages it gave to the original film. Obviously, the first 5 minutes, pure gold. But like I said, as far as the other aspects of this movie, it doesn't get credit for anything because it just doesn't. It doesn't pull anything off very, very well. But some of the kills were homages. Some of the way Leatherface's personality tweaks were very homageful from the original film. So I like that aspect of the movie. But let's get into everything I hate about this movie. I hate the timeline inconsistencies. This movie is trying to get away with the fact that even though the character of Heather that the movie focuses itself on, she was supposed to be a baby who was involved in the raid at the beginning of the film where all the Sawyers are killed, and so she gets out of it. She grows up not knowing who the family was or her connection to the family until she gets her inheritance. But that story takes place in 1974. Our film takes place in 2013. That would put her at 40 years old. She looks like a 21-year-old. There is a big difference there, and I know the filmmakers even said in the making of featurette on the Blu-ray that, well, we hope people forgive us for that. It's like nobody forgave them for it. Everybody knew what a big pitfall that was for the movie itself. And even then, it would also pit Leatherface at 70, 80 years old, so that also makes no sense. So that was also really stupid on their part. So the film should have respectfully taken place in the 90s. I don't know why they didn't go that route, but we got what we got. The film is ridden with cliche characters. None of these characters are very, very likable. They're just not fun to watch. I never had any real solid fun watching these characters try to survive. When Trey Songz died, I was actually really relieved because I thought, wow, finally, we don't need a rapper in this type of movie. No offense, to rappers who are trying to be actors, but this is not the franchise to do that. And so it really felt like, oh, great, here we go again. Here we get another horror film where we have a rapper or a musical artist who's trying to be in the film business. This is just not the type of franchise you want to do that to, because it kind of just makes it look like a joke. And I didn't care for Trey Songz' character. He's a cheating dumbass of a character, and it's just like, well, so they went cliche. They went, it sucked, and I hated that aspect to it. And the fact that they tried to make Leatherface an anti-hero, I just want to seriously kill myself because of the fact that they actually tried to make Leatherface the hero of this movie. He's supposed to be the villain. He is supposed to be the character we all fear. And yet he becomes a hero? Just because the townspeople found out he's still alive and they want to go after him and kill him because they still have a vendetta after, 40 plus years. It's like, get real. Come on. So it was really stupid on that front. The dialogue in this movie is atrocious. I absolutely hate the dialogue in this movie. It is so 90s cheesy, bad dialogue. And the fact that we have that one infamous line, and I'm going to quote it because everybody knows this line from this movie because it made the movie as bad as it really was. When Heather throws Leatherface's chainsaw and tells him, "Do your thing, cuz." Oh my god, it's so bad. It's so bad. And the cheap 3D effects this movie had. It's all post-conversion 3D. So obviously if the film was shot in 3D itself, on 3D cameras, the film might have ended up being something worth watching. But when you see the film in 3D, it's just trash 3D stuff. So it's nothing new. Films like My Bloody Valentine, which was shot in 3D, actually had good 3D effects. This movie is just a cash grab 3D effect movie just because they knew it was not going to make money in theaters, which it didn't. And they thought that by throwing the 3D stamp on it, it might make a few more bucks just because the ticket prices were a little bit higher. Didn't do them any good. They still lost money on this movie. And we still ended up with a prequel in 2017, which I will be reviewing very soon. So overall, my overall rating for Leatherface is this movie is straight up forgettable. Now, I'm not giving it a straight go to hell because there were some redeeming qualities. But there was more to dislike about this movie than there was to like. So the first 5 minutes is what gives this movie more credibility than it actually deserves. So with that being said, this movie is totally forgettable, and it sucks because I love Texas Chainsaw a lot, but this movie just didn't hit any of those soft spots for me. So with that being said, let me know in the comment section down below, what did you guys think of Texas Chainsaw 3D? Did you guys like it? Hit the subscribe button. I got more content coming to you guys very, very soon, and until then, have fun, and I will see you guys very, very soon.